Stampers, this is Trevis. Today is Video Tuesday, and so for our card today, I got a little creative and I decided to make a card using lots of different product from the January to June spring mini catalog. So this catalog is still in effect even after the big catalog expires. So that big catalog will be expiring on May 3rd, and the new big catalog will be coming out earlier this year on May 4th. So if you want to get on my mailing list, I'd be happy to send you a catalog when it becomes available. But in the meantime, enjoy the big catalog, all the ideas in there, and the mini catalog that is full of product. I'm hoping that some of this product carries over to the big catalog because I just don't know if I can part with it. In fact, one of the bundles that I am totally in love with is this art gallery suite. And probably the paper, the designer series paper, some of the embellishments won't be carried over, but I'm hoping that the bundle is carried over because this is so stinking cute. Okay, so it's a two-step stamp. These layer on top of each other. You don't have to layer them. You can just use this by itself. But then if you want, this flower has the second layer, that's this, that actually lays on top of these three. So this is an awesome stamp set. It has 15 stamps. It's photopolymer, which is awesome, and easy to stamp with because you can see exactly what you're getting. And then it has all these great sayings. My favorite sayings: happy birthday, congratulations, thank you, I'm thinking of you. Those are total usable sayings. Of course, I have the other ones. I like the other ones. Sorry, best wishes, you were lovely, I miss you, good luck. Those are awesome too, but probably don't use them as often. So that being said, let's get started. And the card I'm going to make today is my own creation. Actually, this is a card that we are making in club this month. And I just looked at the paper, the designer series paper from this suite, and I was like, yeah, we are going to use that and we're going to make a cute card with it. So we're going to do some embossing. We're going to use the cut and emboss. We're going to use that today. We are going to do some markering. We're going to just have fun. So let's get started. Okay, so let me move this a little closer so you can see. Okay, so what I started with was a piece of cardstock, and this is actually from the, trying to think what color it is. Why is my brain not working? This is from the In Color that's going to be retiring. Oh, I love it. And it's the dark, oh, hang on, I have to look. Pretty Peacock. I had to look at my pad to see. Pretty Peacock. And doesn't that coordinate so fantastically with the pool party? So this is designer series paper from that art gallery pack of paper. And as much as I love this side, I chose this side because it's so texture looking. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make my card base. So this is 5.5 by 7, okay? And you want to score it at 4 1/4, all right? So I scored this. So now the card is going to open like this. So I'm going to have this little piece here where this awesome paper is going to show through. Okay, if you notice and you can see on here, there's a cutout. There's a pencil mark where I'm going to cut out a diamond. And what I did was I just measured down, okay, 2, because I want to find the center. So I measured down. This is actually, okay, hang on. I'm going to measure this. 2 1/4. So I measured over 1 1/8, and I put a little dot. And then I measured up, because this is 5 1/4, okay? So I measured up 2 3. How did I do that? 2 1/2 would be 5. So yeah, 2 and I'm losing my mind. 3/8. 2 3/8. Okay, would be the center. And so I put a little point there, and then I laid my die on here. Okay, and I penciled it the inside. Just took a little pencil and did that. It's not going to show because we're going to cut this out. So these dies are, you probably have these. A lot of people do. These are the stitch shapes. You get 4 of the squares, and they are stitched, and this is the smallest, and this is the next one. So we're going to use both of these today. So what I want to do first is I want to glue this down. Okay, so I'm going to put some adhesive on here, and I'm going to glue this down before I cut it out. Okay. Now I'm going to run it through my my cut and emboss. Okay, so I'm going to center that like that, and I'm going to run it through my cut and emboss. Okay. So if you notice, my plates are really etched, and that is because I use it so much. And I think I'm about due for new plates. But the bottom one I always keep on the bottom. In fact, I have a little note on there, keep on bottom, because it keeps them from getting so warped. Okay, so even as etched as these are, they're not warped. If you notice, my plates are not warped. So that's the only thing I do. And sometimes I will flip them to make sure that the etching gets on both sides, but I never move this one on top. I always keep it on the bottom. Okay, we're going to do one more cut. Okay, so what's cool about this is it cuts out both layers. All right, so I have these left over, and I will use these later on another project. Now what I want to do is I want to cut a cute edge on here, because I think this card is going to really pop if I do that. So I went to my dies and I thought, what die has a cute little edge that I could cut? And I found it in my Stitched Be Mine dies. So these dies, which people think, ooh, Valentine. Yes, but look, this is in here too. So these dies, don't be afraid to go to your storage and just look through your dies and see what's in here. Look, there's a flower. I mean, these are adorable. Little tiny etching, little tiny flowers. So, and this is my fave, one of my faves. Okay, so go use your dies that you have, because there's so many in here. This is 16 dies. So if you have that, pull out this and start using it. So what I want to do now is just do a real cute little edge. Now you have to be a little careful when you're doing this, because you don't want this hanging over like that. When you run this through your cut and emboss, if it is, it's going to bend this. I've had that happen. Not happy when that happens. Basically can ruin your die. Not good for your cut and emboss either. So the cut and emboss is a little bit wider than the Big Shot was, which makes this easier. Oh, here I'm doing it. Now, if you're afraid that this is going to move as you're cutting, as you're putting it through, you can put a little piece of tape, or what works even better is a Post-it note, because it doesn't stick so bad. So if you are a little nervous about this moving, just go ahead and put a Post-it note on top. It won't cut the Post-it note. It's because it's on top. Okay, so we're going to run that through, and it's really tight because that's the way it is. All right, so when you take this away, you've got that darling little edge, little scalloped edge, and a stitching. Isn't that so cute? Okay, we're finished with this now because I did some pre-work. So make sure you put your dies away. You don't want to lose any dies. Okay, now we have this. And it's a great start for the card. I think it needs another color. And so when I looked at my colors, I thought that my Magenta Madness, the pink, would really pop with this card. So I pulled out some Magenta Madness cardstock, and I kind of started playing with it. I went to my designer series paper, and I looked at all of my 6x6 paper, and I have the 2018, 2020, 2019, 2021, I hope that's right, yes, designer series papers, and in color, and this paper is in there, okay? So what I did was I cut 1-inch squares, 2 of these. And I did cut them on an angle so that the words will read, because I'm going to place these on an angle. It wouldn't really matter to me if they were sideways, but I did cut these on the angle so that they read properly. Okay. Then I went ahead and I used this die and I cut out 2 pieces of Pretty Peacock. Okay. So it's time to, that's where I did a little pre-work. Put a little adhesive on here. Okay, so now you can see these are going to layer. The other side's cute too. If you don't like the words, maybe you would like this side better. It's kind of like a wood grain. So totally up to you. I'm going to turn these the right way. I did cut these out 2 at a time on my cut and emboss. So again, this will cut 2, so you can do 2 at a time. Makes it quick. Okay, so now it's time to put these on my card. So I'm going to use some dimensionals, and I have some the small dimensionals. So I'm going to use a couple on each one, at least 2, maybe more. Whoops, well, I got 2 right there. Hello. 1, 2, 3. That's good, I think. You know what? Because sometimes when you mail these, I have to tell you that the post office is a little rough. And so if you put more dimensionals on there, it's less likely to get squished down so much. I don't know. I'm a little leery of how how cards get handled. I know they run them through the machine. And I know oh man, that is tiny. So I do know that they are getting smashed a bit. Okay, I got that one ready. This one ready. Come on. Okay, cool. All right, now I want to make sure these go the right way since I cut them nicely. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place these on my card. Okay, just like that. All right, so now I have this cutout, right? And I want to do something. Oh, hello, little piece of dimensional on the inside. So what I want to do is I kind of want to make this pop so everybody can see that cute edge, and I want something to come through the center. So what I did was I used Painted Texture embossing folder. So this is in the mini catalog. And I mark all my folders because this is a 3D. I mark them which plates to use. So this is 1 and 4. So this tells me that I need to use the platform, which is 1, and the gray plate, which is 4. So if you still have the Big Shot, you need to use your platform and the blue plate. And this will run through perfectly. And look, this is Pool Party cardstock. I ran it through and it's textured. And it's oh so neat. So it doesn't matter which side you use, they're both textured. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere this to the inside of my card. And I'm going to put a little extra adhesive in here because it is textured. So I want to make sure that it sticks. This is so much better adhesive than Snail was, the Stampin' Seal. Okay, but now you can even see this less, so I need something inside there. So I decided that now I get to use my Art Gallery stamp set. And what I wanted to do today was, I like this stamp right here, and I think that this would show through. This one's almost too big, but this one would be perfect. So I have that stamp mounted, and I'm going to do my marker technique, which is called omitting, because I don't want all of these stamps. I only want a few, one actually, and the stem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the brush tip of my marker. So these are the water-based markers, and you can buy, these are the in colors, so you can buy these. This is the 2000, oh my gosh, why can't I think? 2019, 2021. Yeah. And set. And so this is, I'm just going to use this side, and I'm going to color just this one flower. I don't want the other flowers. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp it off once. And then I'm going to use my pool party marker, and I'm going to do the stem. And I don't think a lot of this is going to show, so I'm just going to put some of that on there. Okay. And now, do I have a piece of white cardstock? Yes. I have a piece of white cardstock, and this is 1 1/4 square. So I just cut it on the paper cutter. Blow on that and stamp it. Okay. So that's real pale, and that even turned out cool because you used the marker. Now I'm going to use the second stamp, and this time I'm going to use my stamp pad, and I'm just going to ink that up and stamp it right down here to give it that dimension. Whoops. Hold on to it, Trevis, so they can see it. Gives it that dimension. Isn't that awesome? Now, while I have my stamp pad out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp the same. So as I told you from the stamp set, there's this thank you. And then from the dies, there is a small, somewhere, a small die. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. The small die that cuts out this really cute little piece. And yeah, these are so easy to lose. Ugh, I would be devastated, right? So I'm going to stamp thank you. Because it's photopolymer, super easy to line up. Okay, so I can close this now. So I have thank you on my little piece of white cardstock. Okay, now I did cut out a piece of Magenta Madness using that bigger die. This one, the second die, okay? And I'm going to mount my flower on there. Just like that. And now I'm going to insert this inside my card so that when you are looking at the card, you'll see it. And then when you open it, you'll see it. And you'll actually get to see the second layer of the Magenta Madness cardstock. Okay. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of that little thank you. Just going to do 2 little dimensionals. These little dimensionals are amazing. And I find myself using these more than the big ones. In the old days, all we had were the big ones, and we were always constantly cutting them. So I want to make sure that this shows through my card. And so you don't have to open the card to see the thank you. And I think it needs a little embellishment. So I went and got my Resin Hearts. So these are actually shown in the mini catalog with the Valentine product. And I love these little hearts. The white ones can be colored any color. The red ones are amazing also, but they really remind me of Valentine. So I'm just going to pick up with my putty 3 of them, because you know I do everything in 3s, right? Kind of really looks like a special thank you now. Okay, so there's the inside of my card. So there's my card today. Hope you enjoyed it. And shout out to my new follower, Teresa. So happy you found me. I'm really thrilled. I hope you get your catalog in the mail. Maybe you'll have it by now. Really super happy that you're following me now on YouTube. So the last thing I just want to mention before I say goodbye is don't forget we have mystery stamping coming up. So if you follow me on Facebook, we're going to do a Facebook Live on Friday night, March 19th at 5 p.m. I will be live making a mystery card. I hope you join me for that event. And if you join me, and you don't have to stamp with me, but you could just join me. I will be giving away 19, and that's where the 19 comes in, 19 celebration cards. So all of these cards will be given away in a drawing. No envelopes, just the cards, but they are full cards. And they will be given away to a lucky person who gets drawn. Their name gets drawn. So please watch. Join in if you like to stamp. And if you just want to watch, that's fine too. Would love it. So mystery stamping kind of was on hold for a while there, but it's back. And if you're enjoying it, give me a thumbs up, and I'll continue doing it. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you on Friday. Bye.